Hello everyone, hi, how are you guys doing? Welcome back to another episode reaction to Squid Game. This is Haarute Live, I'm in a mismatch. Hello, hi. Okay, so it's like 10 p.m. I really need to get moving with this reaction, okay? Otherwise it's gonna get too late. But what happened last time with Squid Game? Oh, actually, before we do that, I actually want to talk about Squid Game a little bit on like a meta level. Like, I've never seen a show blow up so hard within like 2 weeks, right? Because like when I first started watching the show, it was like it was not even a week ago, right? Because I think I recorded on like Thursday. Now it's like Tuesday of the next week. So like yeah, like 5 days ago. That show, people were talking about it. People I follow on Twitter were talking about it. It's like, yeah, I watched this new show on Netflix. It's called Squid Game. It's pretty good. Like, oh man, someone recommended this show and it was pretty good. It's been like 5 days since then, and which means that it hasn't even been 3 weeks since the show came out. It's like 2 weeks and a half. Everyone talks about Squid Game as if it was the most popular thing on the planet because it might be. And I'm just like, whoa, that was quick. Like, I've seen Squid Game trending on Twitter for like 3 days in a row. It's like Squid Game and like fucking Smash, right? And the only reason why Smash is trending is because it's the final day of Smash. Like, Smash Bros. It gets the final update. Sakura is retiring, and I follow people in the video game circles. But Squid Game, I like follow no one, and everybody's talking about it. And in those 5 days, like immediately a friend of mine was like, yo, I'm starting watching this new show called Squid Game. It's pretty good. And it's someone that doesn't watch any shows. And he was like, I recommend it to you guys. And I'm like, okay. And then another friend of mine, my best friend, I was like, yo, I started watching the show. Everyone's talking about it. And I was like, it's pretty good. And then my friend was like, I binged all of it. It's good. And I'm like, cool. So now I feel like I'm behind. So I'm recording this ahead of schedule. Hopefully I can release it ahead of schedule as well. But I'm recording this ahead of schedule because I just wanna watch the show. Because I just kinda wanna be there with everybody. But also at the same time, I'm afraid of like getting spoiled. Because this is the way it is with like the hottest shit, the most popular thing, and just existing in the internet. It's getting really dangerous. So I'm just gonna see if I can like watch the show as fast as I can before it all goes to shit. So, another thing I saw is a tweet that I have with me right here. And it's Squid Game creator wrote the show in 2009 but was rejected by studios for 10 years. He once had to stop the script and sell his $675 laptop due to money struggles. Now it's the #1 in 90 countries and said to become the most watched show in Netflix history, which is an insane amount of like, whoa, is it that big? But also, what's funny about the tweet is that like I saw it and people are like, oh my god, this tweet is meant to be like a positive, but all I see is just negative. This is how fucked the industry is. And I was like, wait, the tweet was meant to be a positive? That just sounds awful. That just sounds like everyone failed this man. This man who had like a killer idea. And everybody failed him. It's like, I feel bad for him. But I feel good now that he's made it. So, good job to him. Good job to, what's his name? Wang Dong-yuk. I don't know if I pronounced that correctly, but him. Good job. Clap, clap. But yeah, let's watch episode 2 of Squid Game before it gets too late. Yeah, last time, we went into a death game. That's the thing, is that like, I saw someone being like, oh my god, Squid Game is a ripoff or whatever. It's not. I saw someone making fun of people who said that. And it's the idea that like, Squid Game is a death game. Death game is a genre. There are many other pieces of media that are death games. Squid Game is not super original for that. I'm assuming it's going to be super original for other things. So, if you watch episode 1 of my reaction series being like, oh my god, he got spoiled on the fact that it was a death game, I would have assumed it was a death game anyway, like halfway through the episode, so don't worry about it. Okay. Yeah, they went into a death game. We met our main character, Gi-hun, I think that was his name. I didn't even load up the episode. Okay, here we go. Then we met a bunch of other characters. We had the girl who came from North Korea. We had the asshole dude who hated that girl. We had the old man who's been here for I don't know how many years. We had the guy with the glasses, so it's the son of the lady that sells the fish, who was like, he was like a really prodigy graduate, but so for some reason he's here. We had, who else do we have? I know who I want to talk about, but I don't know if we had anyone else before that. Well, fuck it, whatever. We had the best dude. What was it? 199. Yeah, it was 199. That dude. I'm assuming he's like from India or something. That dude, to just save the main character's ass, just like holding it in, and it's like that guy's the fucking goat. So he's already my favorite character. So, dude, I've been seeing fan art of this show, and it's weird to just not follow anyone who talks about the show and coming across fan art of the show. And it's a live action show. Like, people don't draw that amount of like cartoony fan art of live action shows, and especially if I don't follow them, it just shows up on my recommended. So like, man, people just love this show. So I'm just gonna go ahead and see how much of it I can watch as soon as possible so I don't get spoiled. So let's just do it. That was a long intro, sorry. Alright, Squid Game season 1. I don't know if there's gonna be seasons. Netflix says season 1, so season 1, episode 2. The title is Hell. So let's just go ahead and do that. Oh, and yeah, check out the Patreon. Link in the description. There should be a pop on the screen. You can watch up to the next 2 episode reactions already on Patreon. They come out 1 a week. And you can also watch full-length reactions if you want to watch the full episode with me instead of the 10 minutes highlight. Okay, plug over. Let's do it. Squid Game season 1, episode 2. Let's go. Love the song. Sounds fucked up. Someone who's still alive. They're just gonna kill that person. Nope. Get inside. Seal shut. Yep. At least have the mercy to kill that person before throwing them into the incinerator. By the way, I love this logo. I love this logo. Like episode 2, Hell. Okay, how are y'all doing?
살아서 다행입니다.
Like this guy. 201? Wow, that's way more than I thought it would be. Yes. There we go.
이런 짓을 하고도 무사할 것 같아?
동의서 제2야. 게임을 거부하는 참가자는 탈락으로 처리된다.
동의서
I
제3항.
forgot about that one. Number 3.
참가자 과반수가 동의를 하면 게임은 중단된다. 맞습니까?
That is the clause 3. I forgot about that one. I would guess that the majority would want to live.
게임의 중단 여부를 투표하겠습니다. 그래서 적립된 상금을 공개하겠습니다.
There we go. Here comes the grade. You're gonna see the amount of stupid money, and everyone's gonna be like, well, actually, I kind of want to say, you know, like, yep, a quarter or a third. And the point of view from what you're looking at this, you can exactly see the amount of money. By the way, the way that they like video gamify this, because if you display them something with like pretty shiny colors and like sound effects, people would immediately be like, well, actually, I kind of love that. People are gonna fucking stay because they fucking loot box gamify this shit. If they just roll the money in, yeah, sure, people might have been like, I want to say that's a giant pile of money, but the fact that they like slowly dropped it on top of them with glowing lights and like a video game sound, that makes it so like they would be more willing to. Oh my god, you're the first one because you're the last one. Okay, he wants to leave. Good. He's thinking about his daughter, probably. Good job. Look at this dumb Crush McDuck pile of money. Yeah? I mean, it's glowing. There we go. What if it's gonna come down to like 50-50 just by like one vote, which is gonna be the fucking old man because he's number 1. He's gonna be like, I want to stay, and we're gonna stay because of the fucking old man. Bro, he wants to stay? Okay, we don't know why he's here. That's something we need to learn first.
어차피 나가도 생 지옥이야, 씨발.
Name of the episode. Yeah, it's the idea that like they're gonna be caught by the debt collectors and die anyway. Okay. I think he said no. She said yes. It's gonna come down to the wire and it's gonna be the fucking old man that say like, we're staying, baby!
이제 마지막 투표자입니다.
Oh my god! Oh man! And the fact that we all already know what he's gonna choose. Why even try to disguise it? Like, why even try to pretend that you're not gonna choose to stay? Like, oh man, I saw you play in the first game. You were happy. Okay. Alright then. Okay, never mind what I said. I have a lot of questions about how this is gonna go. Wait, are we just out? We're just out of here.
우리 엄마 걸고 행사한다. 빨리 풀어. 너 이리 와. 내돈 내놔. 내돈 내놔.
Oh my god, dude, come on. She's laughing. I feel really bad for your mother. Okay, I have a lot of questions about the direction of this fucking story. Like, Sarah police. Wait, your Lone Star. Oh god.
감사합니다.
I love that guy. Whoever that is. I love that guy. He's very respectful. He's very nice. It's okay.
걸어가요.
He's probably used to it. This guy might be homeless. Like,
기다렸다가 버스 타고 가요.
안 돼요. 나 돈 없어요. 돈 못 갚아요.
갚으라고 안 할 테니까 그냥 가지고 가요.
감사합니다.
we're learning about these two characters.
감사합니다.
게임이 뭐라고요?
무궁화꽃이 피었습니다요.
Still
애들이
laughing.
하는 무궁화꽃이 피었습니다.
예.
어른들한테 그걸 시켰다는 거죠.
그렇다니까요.
그래서 걸리면 총을 막 쏴 죽였고요.
몇 번이나 말합니까?
I'm assuming they dropped everybody on different regions of Korea, so nobody would go to the same police station.
여기 계속 올 거야?
We need to learn about these characters. I'm invested.
내 거 말고 어머니 것까지 다 들어갔어. 집이랑
Ooh.
엄마 가게까지 다.
Whoa. Okay, now that's fucked. Medical center.
당뇨입니다.
Oh.
올해 방치해서 합병증까지 왔어요. 이 정도면 통증이 심했을 텐데 모르셨어요?
Whoa. She's just been like this and she didn't tell anybody.
하루 병원 입원한 값하고 약값하고 얼마인지는 알아.
보험 있잖아, 보험.
뭐라고? 보험? 네 기억 안 나나? 그거 벌써 해제해가 다 써버렸잖아. 제발 좀 정신 좀 차리래. 아이고.
Reality is fucking clicking in finally.
형 제가 찾을게요. 어머니 너무 걱정하지 마세요.
Wait, are you like a detective that's tracking down to see if you can find people that were involved in the death game? Wait, that box looks awfully similar to the... That looks like the coffins they were putting people in. Oh, does she have a little brother? Bring moms in.
엄마 오면
Oh, maybe their mom is stuck in North Korea.
엄마 아버지 꼭 오실 거다. 누나가 꼭 그렇게 만들 거야.
Mom and dad, okay.
무슨 일 있어? 사장님.
Is he betting online?
너 알다시피 회사 사장. 저 손가락 치료 잘 못 받았어요. 병원
You're
제대로 못 받았.
betting online.
다음 얘기하자. 내가 좀 바쁘다.
Well, whoa! Yeah, this like introducing a character that's like awful and disgusting and immediately making them go get fucked. It's like, all right. The fact that all these people talk like this, oh man, the price would be really high. It would be around 40 million.
중국으로 가는 비용만 그렇고 거기서 다시 남조선으로.
전번에도 네 말만 믿고 돈을 보냈어.
I love it. Did she steal his money? Well, she did this shit? Oh my god. She has the best sleight of hand checks I've ever seen in my life.
몇 살인데? 내가 중매 좀 살까요? 아 근데 우리 아들이 눈이 좀 높아.
실례합니다. 혹시 조상우 씨 어머니 되십니까?
예. 조상우 우리 아들 맞는데요.
조상우 씨 지금 어디 있습니까?
미국 출장 갔는데요. 왜 그러세요?
경찰입니다. 조상우 씨께서 횡령과 사문서 위조, 특정 경제범죄 가중처벌법 위반 혐의로 체포영장이 발부됐습니다.
Reality crumbles. Alright. Man, it would be really awkward to be that woman that was buying the squid. I tell you what. They're all gonna go back to the game. Yeah. If you call, you can come back. Will we get new players or?
अब मेरी बात गौर से सुनो ये पैसे लो और जितना जल्दी हो सके फ्लाइट टिकट बुक करके बच्चे को लेकर घर वापस जाओ
For you and our
तुम दोनों
kid.
को पहले वापस जाना होगा मैं अपना काम खत्म करके घर वापस जाऊंगा तुम दोनों के पास मैं तुमसे बहुत प्यार करता हूँ
Man. Who this? Blood.
자네
Is it the old man? Hey.
맞지?
I don't trust this motherfucker, by the way. I have zero trust in this motherfucker. Like, I saw him in the first episode. And then in the second episode, he's like, actually, I don't want to play this game. And now he casually walks into the main character. No, this motherfucker's sus. He's sus.
다시 가기로 했어.
Yeah, he wants to go back. And he's gonna convince him to go back as well.
자네보다 내가 먼저 들어왔어.
I saw you, you were happy. In what sense?
여기가 더 지옥이야.
I don't know about that. I don't know about that. I know life sucks out here, but I don't know about that. At least you're alive, you know? But that's the thing, is that they all got people that, Oh, this is the dude.
형님 찾는다고
Our big boss. What is this Metal Gear Solid now?
홍판 눈깔로 받아간다고 지금 여기까지 왔잖아.
Well, you were set up. No, he's gonna kill him. Wow! Jump off? Yeet! Oh, it's his ex-wife.
애들 아빠 올 시간 됐어. 가.
야, 너 자꾸 왜 근데 그 인간의 애들 아빠야? 가영이 아빠 나야.
여보, 우리 왔어.
가영이 보려고 잠깐 들렀대.
가영이 봤으니까 나 갈게
저기요.
Is he gonna help him? Or is he gonna be like, don't come back? He's gonna be like, here's the money and never come back.
우리 가족 앞에 다시는 안 나타나 주셨으면 합니다. 미국으로 떠나야 되는데 자꾸 이런 식으로 부스 나타나시.
이 새끼가 돈이면 다 되는 줄 알아.
Ah! And he's gonna see the invitation now, and he's gonna be like, I have to go back. Oh, it's the guy.
성균 씨, 성균 씨가 가지고 있던 명함.
Yeah, and he
전 형도
disappeared.
가지고 있었어.
Oh, there we go. They're all gonna go back because they have to. I like those shots. I like every single one of these shots. It's like the same shot. Everyone is exactly in the center. They're looking in the same direction. They're looking at this watch. I just want to point out that out of all of these characters, the only one that we didn't see have like a real life moment motivation was the old man, which is mad sus. Or like the old man couldn't be more sus. Tell you what, he's tailing them. The detective man is tailing them. Oh, is he gonna die? They would realize that they're being tailed though. Like, she covered her face so she wouldn't fall asleep. Okay, good. Okay, I was not expecting this episode to be this. Because previous episodes, I was like, oh, episodes are maybe gonna be like not as formulaic. Because like I was looking at the episode number and I was like, well, if there's 9 episodes and only 6 games, then how are we gonna do this? And the answer is, we're not gonna do this. Alright, that was it for episode 2, and I have to say, the second episode was like significantly better and more impressive than the first one. At least this is how you feel, right? But the reason for that is because episode 1, it's like, okay, people need money, they get into the death game, they're like, oh my god, we're getting killed, and then they survive, and then it's like, oh my god, and then episode is over. It's like, okay, sure, you know, like, sure. But episode 2, it's like, okay, the death game is actually over. Just like, we're done, leave. Okay. But then they were like, but if you want to come back, you can do so. Like, because like, even when the old man was voting, I was like, oh, it's gonna come down to the old man, and they're like, oh man, they're really pushing for this dramatic thing. Meanwhile, we know for sure that the old man is gonna press yes, because look at him. And then he pressed no, and I'm like, okay, all right, never mind whatever the fuck I was saying. Like, I'm wrong, I'm super wrong. But at the same time, I think I'm right. Because like, I am mad sus of the old man more than anyone. Like, because, okay, so previous episode, I was like, okay, the old man is like a veteran, okay? The old man has been here for a long time. But now, I'm like, okay, the old man is in on it. The old man is never gonna be like a normal character. I mean, unless he like dies and it's like whatever, sure. But it doesn't look like the normal, you know, like victim player character that he appears to be. He doesn't strike me as such. He's sus, and I just don't know to what level he's sus. You know, I don't know what he is. But that's how I feel about the old man. The thing that is most sus about the old man than anything, well, there's many things, but just the fact that in episode 1 he was like super happy as everyone was dying and everyone was dying, and he wasn't shook at all. Like, I don't think there was a single like cut when you see him being like, oh my god, people are dying. He's just like, it's like, it's super happy. And that's something I have to give to that actor. The actor who plays the old man is pretty good. Honestly, every actor in the show is fantastic. Like, I love every actor in the show. And they deliver fantastic performances, makes you care about these characters. And we'll get to that. But the fact that the old man was super into it, I'm like, okay, he's been here for a long time. He's also like player 1, so that's immediately like sus to me. I'm just like, okay, maybe he like leaves, but then he's the first one to come back every time. So he's always player 1, you know? But now I'm thinking, okay, so in this episode, you see every like character have like a moment where they are like, okay, I'm like, this is my story. This is what's going on with my life. And this is why I want to go back, right? Because first episode, it was like, okay, you see Gi-hun and it's like, okay, he needs to get into the death game, you know? His life sucks, that sucks, and, you know, maybe if he gets into the death game, maybe his daughter can stay or whatever. Like, that was a weird thing. But then next episode is like, okay, no, you really need the money for every character. It's like my family and my daughter, and we need to fly back, and I'm gonna die, and they're gonna take my organs, and I need to get our parents back from my little brother from North Korea. It's like my mom has diabetes, she's gonna lose her foot, and I just failed her, and I failed her insurance because I needed gambling money. It's like, okay, the first episode is like, all right, this is like a taste of this character's life, and kind of the reason why he would be in the death game. And then you just kind of take your word for it for every other character. Now the second episode is like, okay, no, they really need the money. They really need the money. And life sucks. So listen, man, they're gonna go back. So I think episode 2 is much more impressive because of it. It's because the idea that in the first episode, I don't want to say felt generic, but it kind of did, you know, for the idea of like a death game as a concept. It's like, okay, people need money, people get tangled into something that they didn't think it would be that fucked up, and then they are forced to do the fucked up thing. Sure, you know, sure. But episode 2, it's like, actually, they can stop. They can just stop. Actually, they're out, they're fine, they're free, okay? But then it's like, okay, no, but their life is really fucked up. And that's why the episode title was Hell, because they say life is hell. So it's like, okay, now you get to see every character, and you get to see them why they would want to go back because their lives are fucked up. So it's like, okay, I like this because it's making me care for these characters, you know? It's presenting me these characters that before I had only like seen for a little bit, except for Gi-hun, but now I see them all. I see their struggles, I see their lives, and I see why they would want to go back. I get to see a better feeling for their personality. I get to see a better feeling for the things that they would do. Like, for example, I'm like Ali. He's like the best, right? And I still think he's the best. I love that guy. I also know that his name is Ali for sure now. I thought his name was Ali before because if you look at like the credits, like the end credits for the dub, actually, it tells you the names in English. And one of them doesn't sound Korean. And I'm like, okay, maybe that's that guy. And it's him. It's Ali. But like the idea that like his boss who owed him money, who was a complete piece of shit, you know? Like you see a guy and he's like betting online, he's gambling while saying like, I'm sorry I didn't pay you for half a year, you know, like I also don't have any money. Oh man, I also need to my body hurts, man. I would go to the hospital if I could, but I got no money. And then they look down and there's like a fucking envelope full of money, and it's like, yeah, don't worry about that, I'm just gonna walk away now. And then it's like, yeah, his hand like gets like crushed and torn off, and it's like, yeah, fuck you. He just takes the money and runs away. But that is not something I would expect him to do from episode 1. Because I'm like, this guy cares. This guy is he looks like super nice. So I'm like, the fact that he took the money and run away is like, it's like a little bit more than what I thought he would be. Like, I would have expected that the moment that guy got like injured that badly, he's like, okay, you actually do need the money now, fuck. But at the same time, then you get to see his family. He not only has a wife, he has a daughter, and they need to leave, and he needs to take care of them. So it's like, and the place they lived in, it was like, what was it? It wasn't a house. It was like what is the word I'm looking for? Like a little bus. It's one of those like little car houses. Sorry, English is not my first language. I've said this in episode 1. I'm a native Spanish speaker. But at that thing. So he has one of those. And that's where he lives with his wife and daughter. And they're very young, by the way. Like, I'm looking at them. They were very young. So I'm not surprised that he would do such a thing, because it's like, okay, you need to get out of here. And the idea that he's like, I'm going to stay, actually. I'm going to stay. There's stuff I need to do. So I like that. And we learn about him. We learn about, we got more things to Gi-hun. We learn about the girl. I don't remember her name. I'm sorry. I suck at names. We learn about, what's its name? Sang-woo. I wrote his name down. Sang-woo, he's the guy with the glasses. And he's number 218. Maybe they'll change the numbers now. But yeah, that guy. We learn about him. He's in a lot of debt. He's been tax frauding or whatever. He's in search, like the police are searching for him. It's like, all right, sure. We'll learn about every single one of these characters, even the asshole. You know, even the asshole guy, the guy that hated the girl. So that guy, he gambled a bunch of money in the Philippines, and he's in a lot of debt, and he's like, we're gonna assault this place, and we're gonna fucking get the money. And he's like lackey is like, boss, you gamble all that money, you fucking dumb piece of shit. And then the Philippines mafia or whatever, they come in here. Maybe it was actually like English dudes. I actually don't know. I didn't pay that much attention. But foreign people came in here, and they were gonna beat his ass and take his organs. And he's like, fuck you. He kills his lackey, and then he jumps at the fucking bridge. And I'm assuming that the people there were immediately like, well, I suppose we're gonna take the organs from this guy now. You know, we got something, we got a little something. So yeah, he jumped off the fucking bridge, survived, and he's like, all right, I need to get into the death game because I'm gonna die anyway. So I need to get the money. So there we go. It's the idea that every character gets a motivation, and it makes it so you can start caring for these characters to a little degree. You know, like, you know more, it makes more sense, and you start caring. Where I don't think you needed to do that in order to tell like a death game story, because you could have just done episode 1 and then immediately go into the second game, right? Just like the second play stage that they would have to do. But no, instead they chose to, let's stop the game, go back to real life, and then you get to see how fucked life is for every single character. You get to see an insight into how they feel, what they think, and what their situation is. And then they go back. That's fantastic. That's fucking awesome. That's fucking genius, actually. I wouldn't have done that shit. But it's amazing that the creator who came up with the story, I said the name of the intro, Hyang Dong-yuk. I don't know how to pronounce it, sorry. Hyang Dong-yuk. So it's amazing that he came up with this, like, even just this episode, the idea that they would just stop, go back to real life sucks, we need to go back in. And also, it's genius not just because it's something that I expect to happen, but it's genius because for the point of view of like the spectator, it makes it so you care more about these people, which is amazing. Love that. And the only one who doesn't get this treatment is the old guy. Okay, I'm not gonna shut up about the old man, the old guy. So that dude, right? You get to see like a scene for everybody with the exception of him. And I know there was the scene when he went to Gi-hun and he was like, yeah, let's drink together. And it's like, I'm thinking about going back actually, you know, like I'm gonna die anyway, so fuck it, why not? You know? Which is what I assumed in the first episode. But now I'm thinking that he's in on it. And the reason why he came across the main character is because he's like subtly persuading him to like join in again. Because I said this during the first episode actually. When Gi-hun is signing the thing about playing in the game, the participation thing, he looks to his right and the old man is signing his, and then the main character is like, Gi-hun, he looks at him, he signs him, and he's like, well, he's the only person I talk to, and I kind of feel for the old man, and he's doing it, so I guess I'll do it, you know? It's the idea that like, it's this like mob mentality kind of thing. It's the idea that if you look around and you see people doing something, you're more likely to join in to do the thing that everyone else is doing. And that's just because you feel safe, you feel comfortable doing the thing that everyone else is doing. You don't want to stand out. You don't want to be the weird one. You want to be like, all right, I guess I'll do it. Everyone else seems to be doing it. So yeah, sure, I'll sign off my rights and maybe die in this death game. Oh, they didn't know that. Like, and I've seen like 3 examples of that happening in the show, I think. Yeah, it's okay. So it happened in this episode when I was like if Gi-hun chooses to stay, a lot of people are gonna want to stay. But if he chooses to go away, then he's the first vote to, you know, no, let's get out of here. And then everyone else can be like, okay, I want to follow that guy, you know? I didn't want to be the weird first guy to do that, but I'm gonna do it. Okay. So yeah, it's because I think that there's like a lot of like interesting aspects about like psychology and how people work in this, and I would totally believe that the old guy was in on it, and the only reason why he interacted with Gi-hun in this episode is in order to make him be like, yeah, I'm thinking about going back actually. And then Gi-hun is like, you know what, doesn't sound that bad anymore, going back sounds like something we could do, huh? And then he starts thinking about it, and then he does go back. And so I can imagine that happening. In fact, I am like 70% sure that was happening. I don't trust the old guy because because that's the thing, right? That's the thing. It's the idea that in the first episode, he was like, yeah, I'm doing it. And he was like super happy and he was mad sus. And I was like already like, okay, you've been here for like years, maybe you're a veteran, but the fact that then he's like, actually I don't want to play anymore, everyone's free now, and I'm like, okay, I wasn't expecting that. And because I wasn't expecting that doesn't make you more innocent, it just makes you more sus to me, right? It just makes you more sus. So I think that like playing with the psychology of every character is part of the game almost, because it's the idea that like you can kidnap a bunch of people into playing a death game, not when they don't know that it's going to be a death game, and then they go through the experience and they're like, fuck you, I'm out of here. And you can let them go. But because you chose people with fucked up lives, maybe you had even more information that they were aware of. Like, it's like, okay, the police are gonna search for this guy like in 3 days. So if he joins the death game today or 2 days from now, and then he comes back, and then he sees the police are gonna kill him, or like the mafia is gonna kill him, or like the mom is falling ill, it's like they're gonna want to come back in. And we're also gonna maybe like subtle nudge them a little bit in the form of the old guy saying like, I want to go back in, and we're gonna nudge them so they can choose to come back in again willingly. And that's the scary part. That's the interesting part, because it's no longer just a bunch of kidnapped people thrown into a death pit. Now it's like, okay, a bunch of people that have already seen the death pit, and they're like, actually, I want to do it. So now it becomes much more interesting, because it's no longer like, oh my god, we're trapped here and we're forced to do this. Now it's like, okay, no, I want to do this. I'm going to try to survive. And it's like, that's different than what I was expecting. I like that. I like that a lot, actually. That's fantastic. So that's how I feel about this. I love this episode, and I will say this episode to me is much more impressive than the first one. Also, I said this, the giant the giant fucking like piggy bank of money that is floating over them, that is also like a psychology thing, by the way. That is also like a thing where like they analyze people and the reactions, and it's like, okay, how can we do this in order to give them the most amount of dopamine? And it's the idea of like, it's like the loot box problem, right? Loot boxes are a thing in video games, and the idea that like there's like actually like things that trick you into spending money into buying them, but it's almost like something like that happening here. And it's the idea that like they could have just like rolled in just like a pile of money, and they would look at the pile of money and be like, well, that's a lot of money. But it's different to do that versus having a giant dumb piggy bank hovering over them, which means that the money is like right above you, which is, if you're looking up, it's right above you, it's really close to you. Like it's the only thing separating between you and the money is gravity, right? And the fact that it falls into a piggy bank, which is a circle, and you look at from up to above, it means that it looks like way more money than it actually is. I mean, it's still a lot of money, don't get me wrong, but it's still, I think that's the point of view where you would see the most amount of money. Also, it's like glowing, it's like golden and glowing, and there's lights. And also there's like a video game sound of like high score counting up. You know, it's like, it's like, and the money keeps falling in as the sound effect comes in. It's like, it's the idea that they have gamified this process to the point that people are gonna look at that and they're gonna be like, actually my brain feels kind of good looking at that money. Which is why the boat was so close, because so many people want to actually stay because they look at that money and they're like, actually, that makes my brain feel good when I look at that pile of money falling in, doing the dumb video game sound effect, glowing golden. It's like, yeah, maybe I could be the one that gets some money. Fuck all y'all. Maybe I can stay here. So that's something, right? That's something about this that I also love. It's the idea that it's all the little details that you can look at and you can be like, oh, they thought about this like really hard. They thought about this like 300 IQ. They have like completely streamlined this shit in order to like make it as manipulative as it can possibly be. And I love that. Actually. I love that I can like tell that that's what they're doing. But this episode is the most genius. I was gonna say the most genius episode so far, but we only seen 2. But it is much better than the first one, because the first one was more or less something I would expect. The second one, I was immediately thrown off. I was like, okay, I don't know what the fuck we're doing. And I guess what we're doing is we're giving you character development, bitch. We're giving you specific characters. You're gonna learn about them, you're gonna know about them, and you're gonna see them willingly go back in. We got a new character introduced. I don't know what his name was. I don't know if I can see the scene again. Does he introduce himself? Jun-ho. Okay, I'm gonna write that down. Wang Jun-ho, policeman. Sure. I'm taking notes now. I should have done that in the first episode. I'm sorry, but Wang Jun-ho. I don't know if that's the correct pronunciation. Again, I'm sorry, but yes, this guy, the police officer. Like, to be fair, when I saw what was happening, I immediately knew what his backstory was. Because this is not a super original backstory for a character. It's like, okay, this is a police officer. He knows about the death game. He has like a little bit of a clue behind the death game. And I'm like, okay, is your brother gone? And he's like, my brother's missing. And it's like, I fucking knew it. I feel bad that it didn't call it, but that's such a cliche thing. It's like, it was either, okay, you're the police officer who's like investigating something that no one else believes, and you're searching for like the main character no one believes because he looks like a crazy person, and he's like, actually, I have the like a specific piece of detail that actually points in the direction that guy actually was onto something. So I'm gonna try and investigate by following that guy because he knows something. And then he's like, okay, is either your brother's missing or your partner like died to them, but because you're investigating it, it has to be your brother. So I'm just like, then he was like, yeah, my brother's missing. He had one of these things. So I feel happy that he immediately knew what his character was. It's like, all right, because he looks young, you know? Because he looks young, he makes me think brother. If he was older, it would be like my wife, you know? That's the way it would be. But yeah. So, okay, we have a character. He's following them, by the way. So everyone went back. Everyone is back on the death game. By the way, the girl, don't remember her name, but the girl, she actually like covered her face, like her mouth and nose, and she managed to stay awake. She can see where they're going, you know, which is a dangerous game to do because they could like kill her if they catch her like peeking. So what she needs to do, she needs to like play the fact that she's asleep. She's like, and then she's like, you know that thing that you can do where you're barely opening your eyes so it looks like they're closed? That's something I'm doing right now, by the way. It seems like my eyes are closed, but I can actually see you guys just well. The detective is following the car where Gi-hun is in. I'm assuming the detective is gonna be part of the death game. Like, if the plot of the show is gonna happen within the death game, which it might not because of this episode. This episode threw me off. So if the plot of the episode, if the show does not happen within the death game, the investigator, the policeman, what's his name? Jun-ho. Let's say Jun-ho. He can investigate outside of the death game, but like he knows where it is. So it's like, okay, he's like sneaking around. He's like, okay, I'm gonna try to get information, see what's happening. But what I'm thinking is that he can probably just be like, okay, that guy's chasing us. Fucking take him away, put him to sleep. He's in the death game now, you know? So they could do that. I feel bad for the mom of what's his name? Sang-woo. I feel bad for the mom of his mom, because she's like, she had this phone call with him and she's like, oh my god, I'm so proud and happy for you. And then the customer comes in and she's like, yeah, my son is awesome. And she has like a photo with a picture of him and she's like, I'm so proud of him. He graduated Seoul University and he's so handsome. And it's like, yeah, I love him. Haha. He has high standards. And the police comes in and it's like, we're looking for your son for doing a bunch of illegal shit. And she's like, you got it wrong. What are you looking for exactly? Ma'am, if you see your son, tell him to come in because it's going to be real bad for his trial eventually if he keeps dodging us. And then the mom is like so shook. And I actually felt, I don't know who I felt like more bad for the mother or for the lady who was randomly buying the squid. Because that lady, that customer, like she was in on the conversation of like, oh my god, he's so great. And then that happens in front of you. And what the fuck do you do? Like, you're just standing there like that's the most awkward spot you can be in. It's like, okay, what do I say now? She needs to give me my squid. You know, I would just be like, you know what, lady, it's okay. I'm just gonna get out. I'm just gonna get out of here. You know, just like it's right. It's like here's the money. Don't even give me the squid. I'm out of here. Bye. Take care. Have a good one. You need it. Bye. So something like that. I would be like, Jesus Christ. That would be an awkward moment. The fact that Gi-hun went to his wife's house and he tried to get money from her. And here's the thing, is the fact that later, the husband, the new husband, he came in and he's like, here's the money you need, but don't ever talk to my family again. And when he said that, it's the idea that like, okay, and this is something I love. It's the fact that Gi-hun doesn't take the money. He initially takes the money, but then he's like, when he says that, don't talk to my family again, he just like punches him and throws the money at him. And he's like, do you think money solves everything? And that's something I love. It's the idea that, I said this before, Gi-hun does not care about money. And this is something that like, I love. It's the idea that Gi-hun does not care about money. What he cares about is gambling. And this is also something I realized while editing previous episode. Like I realized when it happened, but I didn't think about it too hard. But when he was betting with the guy doing the game with the paper, throwing it down, and he kept getting slapped, when he won, he went to get slap him back. And I'm just like, bro, take the money. And then he like gave him the money, and he's like, all right, I can get money. And it's the idea that it wasn't like a joke. It was actually the fact that he is doing this purely because he wants to win gambling. And that's also what the intro of the first episode was, is that when he's playing the little, like the Squid game or whatever it is, with his friends, he's playing it, and then when he wins, he feels this like exhilaration, like, I won. And that goes into him later in life, when he's like, I need to feel that rush of I won, you know? So he keeps betting, he keeps gambling, and it's the idea that like, I want to win. And when he wins, the money doesn't mean anything to him. The money is just more fuel for him to keep potentially winning. So the idea that we saw that a little bit when he went for the slap, and it's like, no, you're getting the money. And he's like, right, the money. It's the idea that he was so into the gambling that he completely forgot about why he was doing this. So he just went for the slap. And I think that's such a like small detail. That's such a small piece of like characterization that you don't realize. Like, I don't know how many people realize that if they thought about it too hard, but like that's such a small thing. And I actually think like the more I pay attention to the show, the more like amazing it becomes, right? Because it becomes this thing of like, it's so clever. The writing is so clever. It's so subtle too sometimes. And I'm assuming there's so many things that I probably didn't realize either. So people in the comments, y'all, what's up? So if there's stuff that I didn't notice, maybe I'll notice like next episode. Like for example, right now I'm talking about things that happened in episode 1 because I need to edit this episodes because I don't have an editor because I'm poor. But I need to edit the episodes, so I need to rewatch them. Maybe I notice stuff by the next week, but there might be stuff that I missed that you can like point it out in the comments if you feel like it. I read those and I enjoy knowing more about the show that maybe I missed. So yeah, okay. I love the show so far. Like this second episode actually made me care so much more than the first one. But oh yeah, what I was gonna say before I lose my train of thought is the idea that the new husband comes in, gives him the money. He's like, he declines it because he's not going to give, because also the thing that he said like, don't come and talk to my family again. Don't come near my family again. It's the idea that you're calling them your family when she's his daughter. Like, listen, man, I understand the wife. I understand you. I understand the son. But the daughter, that's his daughter. Come on, man. Like, he's allowed to talk to his daughter. And you're gonna be leaving forever in like a year. So like, bro, that's such a like heartless thing to say. And you understand that it's like difficult for everyone involved, but like, fuck you, dude. And I like that Gi-hun, it's like, fuck you, dude. Do you think you can just like give me a ton of money and say like, so I don't see my daughter again? Fuck off. Because the thing is that he clearly cares about her, right? He clearly cares about her. He has a very bad case of addiction. And that's the thing. That's the thing about addiction, right? Is that it's self-destructive. And it's also destructive to the people that are in your immediate vicinity. He keeps asking for money. He cancels the mom's insurance. Like, he keeps screwing things up for everyone else around them. But it's not like he can stop. It's an addiction. And like most addictions, he can't get out of it. And at this point, he really can't get out of it. At this point, he really can't. So what's gonna happen? So the thing is that now he's forced to do this, even if he didn't want to, because he needs to get the money. He really has to. So now he's locked in this play, and I'm realizing this. I'm realizing this as I say it. It's the idea that because he's a gambling addict, he's gonna be like, he might not be the best player, but he's gonna be the player that feels the hypest when he wins. Maybe, you know? It's the idea that he was scared in the first game, sure. But now that he's willingly going back in, and it's gonna be fucked up. It's gonna be like fucking trauma inducing. But the idea that he's gonna go in and he's like, okay, I'm gonna win, I'm gonna win, I'm gonna win. He's gonna finally be in his environment, you know? He's like, all right, a death game. This is what I was born to do, you know? Because this is like almost like a microcosm of his life, you know? It's like, all right, play a game, win and win money, or lose and die. And that's kind of what his life is, you know? Like, everything's falling apart. If he loses, everything's gonna fall apart. And it's not only him who's gonna die, it's everyone else. But the idea that if he succeeds, he's gonna maybe be able to save all of that. Maybe he won't. Maybe he'll go back to gambling. I don't know if he's gonna be able to get out of there. But yeah, we'll see what happens with him. But yeah, it's this show is pretty fucking genius. I'm glad that the new mainstream thing, the new hot new thing, is actually like such a good show. And I can already tell that from like episode 2. Dude, I'm so like excited to keep watching this. I really am. Because of the fact that like it's awesome whenever you watch a show and you watch it alongside everyone else. Given I'm not necessarily doing that because everyone else has already finished the show. And if you're watching this on YouTube, by the way, if you're watching this on YouTube, you're watching this like 4 weeks after I recorded it, right? Because right now, Evangelion, the new movie, needs to come out on Saturday. Next Saturday is going to be episode 1, and then the Saturday after that is going to be episode 2. So, yes, it's like 3.5 weeks until you see this on YouTube. By the way, the reason why you do that is because you can go to the Patreon and see the next 2 episodes already there. Wink. Besides that, it's the idea that like this is the new hot new thing. Everyone's talking about it, and I'm gonna feel happy when I finish it. I mean, because I'm gonna be able to like get the memes. I'm gonna be able to see people talk about it and like analyze it, and it's like, yeah, man. And I can talk about it like my friend who watched it. It's like, yeah, and this feels like a really good show, and I'm very happy that it's doing so well. I'm also very happy that it's a foreign show that is doing well. You know, like fuck Hollywood. Hollywood's done enough. We had enough of the Americans. Okay, we had enough of that shit. I'm ready to accept a new South Korean overlords. You know. Because I keep hearing they pump out like really good media, so I'm very happy that the hot new show is this. I'm very happy that it's like the most like popular show on Netflix ever, you know. Also, like people read subtitles. Like what? Why are y'all so lazy? Just fucking read subtitles. Oh, I'm gonna do my new GeoGuessr challenge. I realized that GeoGuessr's fun, man. Okay, I'm out of here. It's getting late. It's like midnight. I need to stop. Okay, that's it for episode 2 of Squid Game. Yeah, thank you so much for tuning in. Alright everyone, thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of Squid Game. If you would like to watch next episode and the next one after that one as well, the next 2, alrighty, you can do so over at the Patreon. So check out the link in the description for that. You can also check out social media, full-length reactions, Twitch stream, all sorts of stuff. So yeah, do that. I'll see you guys next time. Okay, everybody, take care. Bye-bye.